So right now we're having this conversation, catching up people by video, about trust. Um, and the question we kind of came to is trust given or is it trust earned? We're kind of looking at Jesus' life, um, and we see that Jesus gave trust, even though in our opinions, at least one of them never earned it. You can even look at Judas. Judas was stealing from the treasury, and Jesus trusted him with the treasury. He put him in charge of that. All the way, up until Judas left, Judas was in that position of over the finances, and Jesus gave him that trust when he obviously wasn't earning it. And so I think we talk about trust in that way because tonight, again, we're talking about obedience. And obedience is how we show God that we love Him. That we love Him, but it's also how God's power is able to work through our lives. When we're disobedient, actively disobedient, then God's power is just not able to work through us at the same measure, at the same place. It's not a legalistic keeping of rules, but when we're disobedient, we're not close to Him. We're not drawing into Him. We're not knowing Him. And then again, we all struggle with different things throughout the day, but consistently obedience is tied into our faith. So part of that is when our sin clogs the flow, breaks the relationship down. Absolutely. And part of that is some of us, I think, can start to feel like God needs to earn our trust. Like He needs to do so many things when I'm in a bad situation before I really trust Him. And it may start from the idea of back in school praying for help on a test, and if you did good in the test, maybe God earned a little bit of your trust. But if bad things happen in our lives, all of a sudden we start to feel like God isn't earning our trust because He isn't making everything easy. And we get into this earning scale. Has God earned enough of my trust for me to fully obey Him? And whatever that obedience means, it could be everything from seeking Him every day in His Word, loving people the way that we should, giving of ourselves, time, money, resources into His church, morally, all that kind of stuff. I think a lot of times we kind of keep God in this measure, and if He's done enough what we would consider the good things that earn our trust, then we're willing to obey to a certain point, and we kind of keep a tally. Instead of realizing that love gives trust. It gives trust out. It says, God, I love you, so I give you my trust. You don't have to earn it. You have it. And because you have my trust, I obey what you say. Because you don't earn that obedience. I'm obeying you because I love you. But I think a lot of times we think that God needs to earn our obedience. That He needs to show up enough times in our life that, okay, well, He's earned that obedience. Maybe it comes from our relationships with people where that person, that relationship, that coach, that teacher, the ones that we obey the most are the ones that have earned it, that we've taken a risk on, and they give a little bit back, and then we take a risk on, and they give a little bit back. And oh, you earned my obedience. I'll do what you say because I like you, or you helped me, or whatever it was. And with God, it's just, and even in our relationships, it can never function that way, because then we're only loving people who love us, and God calls us to an extraordinary love, and obeying that means giving out trust, and just knowing that love gives trust. So I guess the next question is what do you think about that? How does that make you feel when you think about giving freely of trust to God, or maybe even in relationships that you have, to show God that you love Him?